You want to hire and develop people to be way better at you than what you're doing. Like, you are not the best painter. You are not the best salesperson. You are not the best marketer. You're not the best financial guru, like really anything. Our job as an entrepreneur is to find people who are better than us, and they can devote all of their attention to doing that one thing, so they will make them even better at it. Versus us, we're doing so many different things. We're not putting all of our attention into one thing.
When your leads are low and your sales are slow, who you gonna call? Brushbuster.
What's up, everyone? Michael Hickman here, founder of paintergrowth.com, and you're listening to the Painter Growth Podcast, Brushbusters edition, with my boy Gavin. What's up, Gavin?
Oh, having a great day, helping people out, build businesses to serve their lives.
It's a great day to have a great day.
Absolutely.
So you've been leading a lot of our one-on-one coaching efforts. How many one-on-one coaching calls have you had in the last 90 days? Would you say?
Several hundred. Lots. My brain is inside of many people's businesses right now. It's fun.
Yeah, I love it. And before we get into, I want to ask a couple questions about that before we get into the letters and stuff. But I guess first of all, let's just do a quick reintroduction of you.
Absolutely.
Why did I hire you here?
Why did you hire me? Well, Mike, so
you tricked me.
I did trick you. I know nothing. I'm just really good at sales and bluff my way in. No, I actually have been in home services for 14 years. I actually started that journey as a painter, believe it or not, which is funny, full circle. In those 14 years,
who originally hired you?
Kit Holbrook. Kit Holbrook, our good friend.
Yeah.
It was a summer painting job, and then I ended up running my own business after that. But yeah, in those 14 years, started 3 different home services business, 2 painting, 1 premium house detailing business, being part of 2 world-class franchise systems. So in those systems, you learn a lot about systems, processes, you get a lot of training and development, like that type of thing. And you basically hired me because I just sold my last one, the house detailing business. We're doing multiple 7 figures, and my partner and I decided to sell, and I wanted to focus on my passion. That's helping business owners develop their skills so they can build businesses that serve their lives versus the other way around, them being slave to their business, which sucks.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm here.
Love it. So you've sold 7-figure businesses, you've scaled businesses on your own with partners, you've seen the gambit, and I got lucky enough to catch you right after you sold. Actually, you were mid-sale, so you didn't have
mid-sale
to figure out what you were going to do next. And
went traveling for a bunch of time, and then I figured it'd be good to have a job lined up when I come back from Africa,
Yeah.
So, worked out well.
So now you're here pumping value into our clients. And I guess before the letters, one more thing I wanted to kind of get from you is you've talked to hundreds and hundreds of clients doing one-on-one coaching calls, helping them build their businesses, holding them accountable. What would you say are the biggest 2 or 3 differences between people that succeed and have their stuff together versus the guys that don't and end up spiraling and failing?
Very good question. I would say the first one is time management. If you don't have control of your time and you're just an absolute slave to your business and your clients and your employees, and you're just all over the place, you don't have time to work on the business and learn and actually improve. So you just cycle through the same actions constantly. And then you get more tired, more exhausted, more burnt out, more frustrated. So it just gets harder and harder and harder to claw your way out, basically.
It's funny. I asked Chris the exact same question, and his very first answer was time management.
And
it's funny how no one talks about it.
nobody teaches it, right? Like very few people get taught how to manage your time. Some people trip over it and kind of figure it out. Most people have no clue, or they think they're managing their time well, but in reality, they're not. You can be far more efficient with your time.
Yeah. If you can't manage your time, you can't manage a business. You can't
Totally.
manage your money.
Totally, absolutely. Yeah, I mean that's honestly probably the second one. Lack of financial knowledge and awareness of just like not knowing where your finances are, what your expenses are, what you need to be making, so you can make educated decisions on what to invest in the business. If you have to put money into the business in advance, if you can take that large commercial job and float the overhead for 30 days, 60 days, right? Like that's a very common one where I see people getting into sticky situations, is lack of financial awareness and training for sure.
Mm-hmm. So number one, time management. Number two, understanding your money situation.
Yeah. And three kind of goes in line with the first one, but people just waiting. They're stuck in the waiting game. I'm waiting for the right time to do this thing. I'm waiting for marketing materials. I'm waiting for the right person to show up in my business. I'm waiting for that big commercial job to come through. Like by saying you're waiting, you're just giving away all of your control of your entire business and thus probably your life to like what you're waiting on. Like you're literally waiting on Amazon or Vistaprint to like up for a box to move to grow your business. Like there's a million things you can be doing in the meantime, and waiting for the right time to do something. There's never a perfect time. The perfect time is now. Might be imperfect. Just do it. Pull off the Band-Aid and just do it now.
It's like waiting for all of the lights to turn green before you drive to work.
Totally. It's not going to happen. Right. And that's how you grow quickly and learn quickly, is the rate of things, of just trying things and doing things and just knowing it's not going to work out perfectly the first time, probably, and just doing it quickly again after that. There's always something to do.
There's like this story of this high school teacher, and he split the class up into two, and half the class, he said, all right, you have a semester. I want you to make one clay pot as good as you can, the perfect clay pot. And you just have to make one of them. You have all semester to do it. And then the other group, he said, I want you to make as many clay pots as you can. And we'll just like, this is just like the experiment, right? And it turned out that the ones who were challenged to make the most, by the end of just that pure repetition, they ended up making way better clay pots than the ones who just tried all year to make the one.
Yeah, 100%. Because it's a skill thing, right? Like nobody's good at something the first time you do it, or the 10th time, or the 20th time. Like you got to do some things hundreds of times to get moderately proficient at it, let alone good and like exceptional at it. You got to do this things like thousands of times, right? So
yeah,
that's huge.
Yeah, love it. Well, let's jump into a little letter from a listener. Hey guys, this episode has been generously sponsored by Drip Jobs. If you're looking to save time, close more jobs, Drip Jobs is the CRM built specifically for painting contractors. You can manage your leads, automate your follow-up, build proposals, and send invoices all in one place. And with powerful tools like production rates and job costing, it will allow you to work smarter, not harder. So I really recommend trying Drip Jobs to see how it can help streamline your business. And we have a link for you in the description. Check out the special offer for this podcast now. You want to read this first one from Mr. Jake?
Mr. Jake from Spokane says, hey coaches, I'm doing a little bit of everything right now. Residential, commercial, interior, exterior, but I feel like I'm not really excelling at one thing. I want to find a niche that sets me apart. How did you decide what niche to focus on? And how do I know what's right for my business?
First of all, dude, ahead of the game, like already talking about a niche, whatever you want to call it. Like the fact that you're thinking about that is, I love it. Most people are like, how can I do more interior, exterior, cabinets, residential,
Cast
commercial.
the widest net possible. I'll catch something, you know. I put this in a good way. Like, yeah, like great for you for thinking this way. Like, who charges more in terms of doctors? A general practitioner, you go to a clinic and get somebody put a band-aid on, or a neurosurgeon. The neurosurgeon makes way more money because they're so specialized, right? It's the same thing in home services. If you're a jack of all trades, you're not gonna be able to charge top dollar, and you're also not gonna be efficient at producing what like that same thing over and over again. So you're just gonna make way less money if you're trying to do everything.
So how to pick what niche you want to go after. The way that I did this in the past is I looked at like the last whatever 20, 30 projects that I'd done, and just ask yourself a couple simple questions. Which ones were the highest profit margin? Which ones are we most equipped to solve? And which ones like can we easily target with either a demographic or geographic location? So if you're talking about like, oh, I really like Mary's house because Mary's this really nice lady and I got to charge her a lot, like pretty hard to target that. But one thing that I had a lot of success with is like we have our city, but then outside the city, we have a lot of like a rural area with a lot of like barns and farmhouses. So I put together a flyer that basically said, we are barn, and up here we have something called the Quonset. It's like those half circle, half cylinder buildings that you can put like a tractor
Oh
in.
yeah. Okay, yeah.
We call it a Quonset. I don't know what other people call it. So we're like, we are barn and Quonset painting specialists. And I listed a few of the features and benefits that like a farmer would be interested in, like tax deductible, same day estimates. We don't charge for travel, full cleanup or whatever, things like that. And before and after picture of a barn. And I sent that out to like 300 farms, like not even that many. I booked over $100,000 of barns from that one little flyer because I picked a niche and I sent it out to the right people and they looked at it and called me.
Yeah, 100%. It's that's what you want to do. One thing, like, don't discredit like stuff that you want to do and you enjoy doing it. Like, we have several people in Painter Growth that they love doing fine finish work, and that's what fills them up. Like, super detailed, super niched, and that's what they've gone after, and they're absolutely crushing it because they enjoy building that business. It's not necessarily like, obviously you want to make sure that the numbers and profitability and everything makes sense, but like, this is your life. It's your business. Work on what you want to work on, right? If you don't want to do like crazy high rise stuff, like sketchy work, like don't do it. Like get that easy stuff out of the way, and figure out what you're good at, what you're going to enjoy, and what makes sense financially.
You know what? I'm going to push back a little bit. What your team is good at.
What your team is good at. Yes, that is true.
Right? Like I've heard many clients be like, oh, I'm totally off the tools, except when we get cabinet jobs and I'm the only one who can do cabinets. So I jump back in and I paint for a week. It's like, dude, stop taking cabinet jobs.
Yeah. Well, but like, that is it. Like ultimately, like what's the most scalable? And it's not those super specific niche things, unless that's all you're doing and you have people to do that for you. If it's like a one-off thing, just say no, because if that's the thing that pulls you back onto the tools, it's not worth it. That one bathroom remodel a year is not worth it. That one cabinet job a year is not worth the headaches that it brings.
People often look at the money that they're going to make at that time. And we have one client too, Tony, I'm calling you out on this one, who runs a big business. He runs like a multi-7-figure business. And he got caught in this thinking. I didn't actually correct him at the time, just whatever reason. But he's like, he's typically off the tools, but he's like, yeah, last week I went in, rolled up my sleeves, got my hands dirty. I wanted to make a little bit more money because we just bought this vacation or something like that. And I was like, dude, it's like how to make less money 101 is to jump back on the tools. Like you might see a slight margin increase on this one project, but like, what could you have been doing instead during that
3 or 4 more projects in the time you spent there? I saw this a lot in part of my last business. It was a part of a franchise system, and we did custom Christmas lights, like holiday lights, like $2,000 to $10,000, like Christmas light installs on people's homes, like professional installs. And being a part of a franchise system, we were the largest franchise in North America, particularly when it came to Christmas lights. Like we did triple what the next franchise did, purely because like we knew what we were good at, and we kept our product line super tight, super small. Because like holiday lights is millions of things you can do, right? Like and they're fun, but we knew like what we were good at, and we would absolutely crush productivity budgets. Like we nobody could beat us at putting these things up, and that's all we did. And then in that, because as a franchise, there's chat groups, right? You see what other people are doing, and you see all the time, like the newer franchises and the ones that are trying to hustle, but it's like, hey, check out this super niche product that we're looking at. It's like these lights you can like program pictures and videos, and then you just got to put it in the tree and like program it all. I'm like, dude, like you're spending more time on that quote, just figuring it out. It's not even a sold job. In the time you spent just to quote that and figure out how to quote it, let alone have your team produce it and install it and then deal with the headaches, we've booked 8 more $3,000 just cookie cutter jobs that our team will beat budget on by 25%. Like it's just like, you know, short-term thinking. You want to just know exactly what you're going to deliver on, cut out the rest, and just be the best in the world at that.
Yeah, if you don't have barns, I mean, think seasonally too. So if you're going into the winter, what types of projects you need? Well, you know, if you're in a winter state or province, like, yeah, you don't need a bunch of stucco exteriors. You need some just simple interior repaints. So how can you put together a little promotional campaign that positions you as the expert on interior repaints, right? Can you put together a little flyer talking about getting your painting done before Christmas and send that out? Like, I think one thing that people get caught up on, they're like, if they think that if I make a campaign around being a niche, then everyone's going to assume that's the only thing that we do, right? But people forget that people have such short memory spans, especially when it comes to advertising.
Yeah.
No one remembers you. No one remembers your ad. But if your ad shows up to them at the right time, when they're in the right mindset, then they will take action on it. And that's why you need repeat exposure.
Yeah, 100%. For someone to remember a specific service that you offered, they would have had to see that offer hundreds of times for them to remember your business specifically offered this specific thing, right? Like change it seasonally. Yeah, makes sense.
Número 2.
Sí.
All right. Hola, Brashpasos. Mia crew. A veces me creo. Okay. My crew sometimes makes mistakes on the job, like missing spots or being sloppy with cleanup. I don't want to be a micromanager, but I need to make sure everything is done right. How can I hold my team accountable without constantly looking over their shoulders? Mr. Nick, you want to take this to start? A lot of ways that we can go with this.
A lot of ways we can go with this. I mean, you have to hold your team accountable for sure. And there's different ways to approach it. I mean, ultimately, if they keep making the same mistakes, you need to identify, is it a training issue? Is it a character issue? Do they just not care? Or is it a missing system? Right? Like you can systemize an inspection to look for touch-ups. Like that is a system that exists. Okay, Joe, take your eyes, top right corner, scan to the left, the first 4 feet of the wall. Okay, looks good. Okay, down, over the right. Like that's something that you can train, right? So you need to identify what's causing those repeated mistakes and then address it, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, an easy way to think about that, like the formula we use is like, is it skill or is it commitment? Right. Yeah. So is it skill as in terms of like, is the painter just not equipped to handle these issues? Do they not know what a good job looks like? Do they not know how to mask properly? Do they not know how to cut properly? Like these are things that are teachable. Or is it commitment? And commitment is a big word that basically means, are they the right person for the job? Because you can't train commitment. Are they trying their best? Are they showing up on time? Are they giving it their best effort? Do they have the mental and physical capacity to actually do a good job? And if it's no to any of those things, then they're probably not a good fit for your business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Something that's often overlooked is, do they know what's actually expected of them as well through like a written work agreement? And like actually like telling them, I'm holding you accountable to these standards. Because if they don't know the target to hit and that expectation was never set for them, how can they possibly ever be set up for success? And this is often missing. People assume that their employees have the same standards as them, and then reality strikes, and that is not the case. So you got to set that expectation, apply the training, and then absolutely hold accountability. And sometimes if it's a repetitive thing, you need to have a serious look at if that person's the right fit for your business.
Mm-hmm. So let's see. He's doesn't want to micromanage, make sure everything's done right, holding the team accountable. Now, another thing is I believe strongly in compensating for the behaviors that you want to see. And a lot of people pay a day rate or an hourly rate for their painters with no bump, no incentives to perform quickly or at a high quality. But if you shift the compensation structure to now have a quality component, I mean, we won't even get into a speed component for this one, but even a quality component, I think you're very quickly going to see, if they have the capacity for it and the ability for it, quality increasing. And a couple ideas that are really simple to implement are something like, the job site manager or the lead painter being responsible for the walk around for the client, being responsible for their touch-ups, getting $50 or $100 for a 5-star Google review, having the client sign off on the job while on site, not being you, but having the lead painter have the sign off. And I think just in general, if they're responsible for the touch-ups and this job sign off, and then you compensate for a Google review, that should be plenty to encourage the behavior that you want.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, what other tips have you seen that would work to kind of improve quality?
Yeah, I mean, one thing that was very eye-opening was every single one of our clients, they always got a Net Promoter Score survey, right? So we would always be getting feedback, and we would bonus off of that because it's a very measurable thing. Mm-hmm. And at one point, we also this was for cleaning. There's a high volume of clients. Like we don't do one job a week; we do 50 jobs a week, right? So
very small average job size, high volume,
very
a lot
small
of logistics.
So like the survey was automated, but then at one point we had inside sales reps be like, let's just call every single one of our clients and just see how it went. And we got some really, really good feedback there. So like that is worth your time. Like if you're not on sites and you have people who are closing jobs and everything for you, like it's worth picking up the phone, calling them, and just asking, getting some measurable data, and then bonusing off of that, because then you can track it too, right? Of like individual crews' performance, and then whatever you track.
I agree. Net Promoter Score is ultimately a great way to do it and doing customer feedback. But for the average painting contractor who, like we said at the start, is like struggling to keep track of their time, keep their head above water, like what is the simplest thing that they can do? I think it's just empowering their painters to do a walkthrough and have a homeowner sign off on the project in front of the painter.
Sure. I agree. That's nice and simple. And the Google reviews is great, man. Icing on the cake.
Yeah. Cool. Next one.
All right. Next one.
Did I read the last one or did you?
You did. I can read this one. So this is from Fred from Boston. Dear Brushbusters, I've been running the business myself for years, but as we grow, I know I need to take a step back from the day-to-day painting and focus more on managing. It's hard to let go and trust others with the work. How do I make that transition smoothly without losing control? This is a conversation I've had multiple times this week already.
Yeah. Oh man, such an important question, such an important transition, not only in the development of their business, but as a human, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur. Like it can be the most challenging thing that you ever do in your company. And it's okay that it's hard, but you can do hard things. That's what I tell my 5-year-old.
And you know what? It has to happen, because this is where a lot of business owners, particularly I'd say contracting business owners, get stuck and they never get past, is because it's hard to trust other people. Maybe they've gotten burned by an employee before. They step back and then they didn't have the systems or training, and they made some mistakes, and things did not go well. So they're kind of like, it's a little bit of PTSD there. So they never fully get past this. So it's really important that you do get past it. And once you do see the wins and just how awesome it can be, leading and building and growing a team of like A players, driven people who do a better job than you, that is possible. And that's actually what you want to create, is you want to hire and develop people to be way better at you than what you're doing. Like, you are not the best painter. You are not the best salesperson. You are not the best marketer. You're not the best financial guru, like really anything. Our job as an entrepreneur is to find people who are better than us, and they can devote all of their attention to doing that one thing, so they will make them even better at it. Versus us, we're doing so many different things. We're not putting all of our attention into one thing.
It's like, you know what Elon Musk is the best at? Finding great people and giving them his vision, empowering them with his vision. That's what he's the best at.
100%.
And so if we can do a little bit of that. So I was talking to a client last week, and he's telling me how after going through our training and working with us, he like finally got the courage to get out the tools. And the thing that really helped him get over the edge was reworking his mind to realize that painting is actually the least productive thing that he can do in his business. So if you've been listening to this podcast for any amount of time, you know this already, but painting is about more or less a $50 an hour activity. Estimating is about a $500 an hour activity. Training your team is about $500 an hour activity. Recruiting an employee is about a $5,000 an hour activity. Working with a coach is a $50,000 an hour activity. Like, you need to be up in your game, up in your activities. If you can spend 20 hours a week on training your team in sales, that's like, what is that? 20 times 500 is 10,000 a week. It's not too bad to start.
100%.
Add in 2 hours of recruiting, they're at 20,000 a week.
Yeah. And that's I've found in my experience dealing with lots of folks in this situation, that's the tough mindset to get over, of like, painting is one of the lowest skill things. And now I'm not saying painting's a no skill thing. Like, some painters are extremely talented, but in the grand scheme of running a business and scaling a business, being a technician role here, being a painter, is the lowest skill thing in the business. And you do not want to get stuck doing the lowest skill thing.
Yeah.
And if you have the right people and you've spent some time training them, making sure that they're good to go, not just dumping them in a role, like setting them up for success. At some point, you just got to take that leap of faith and step back, and you might be surprised. I've had people step up into a role after, me getting out of my own way. They step up into a role, and I'm blown away by their performance. They did way better than I thought they would. Right? That was a nice surprise.
One thing I want to just go back to is just that I want to be really careful that being a painter and painting is, yes, it's a lower skill job and responsibility, but there is no shame in painting. There's honor in painting.
Yeah.
It's a great career if that's what you want to do.
But
this podcast is the Painter Growth Podcast, and you're listening to this because you want to grow your business and you don't want to be stuck as a painter forever. Yes. Right? So that's why, there's nothing wrong with painting. Absolutely not. But if it's not what you want to do, then you need to take steps to stop doing it. And it takes swing. It takes releasing control. So even now, my business, Painter Growth, today, Jesse posted in the Momentum group that he's launching a new weekly call for the Momentum members, like a little work block. And I saw him post it. I'm like, cool. That's a cool idea. Nice. I had nothing to do with it. And he didn't ask me for permission. I didn't require him to tell me what he's working on. I have almost 30 team members now at Painter Growth, and I don't know what anyone's doing at any given time, but I look at outcomes. I meet with most of them monthly, and I see what they're getting done. That's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
Yeah. Shall we tackle one more?
Yeah, you can get one more in.
All right. Hey, brush busters. I know I need to up my marketing game to grow, but there are so many options out there: Google, Facebook, Instagram, SEO. I'm not sure which one is worth investing in. What marketing strategies have worked best for you, especially when starting to scale? From Steven. All right. So I think a really important thing there is starting to scale, right? Because it's not just about starting, but like you're actually starting to scale. So that's different than just starting.
Yeah.
So where does your mind go?
So I would always have a core marketing campaign of like neighborhood door to door. Like it works, it's scalable, and like we said earlier, like people forget about you very quickly, right? People remember you longer if they're actually having conversations. So I'd keep that as a core marketing campaign. But yeah, you definitely want to, if you're looking to scale, you need to do some sort of like mass marketing. Facebook ads are fantastic. Google ads are great as well. Direct mail, targeted to the areas that you're doing. Like you want to stack all of your marketing. So even though you're growing, like you're scaling, you don't want to make the mistake of spreading your marketing too thin. So I don't know if any one particular tactic is like a golden bullet. It's more a matter how you use them, of like stacking them all on top of each other in your super small targeted areas where your clients live, not spreading a super wide net and hoping something catches.
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
two concepts there I want to just like reiterate. Number one is having multiple channels. Like, yes, you should do some of the old school stuff. You need a door-to-door team. I don't care where you are, how big your business is. You need a door-to-door team. Two marketers working 12 hours a week can bring you, 24 estimates. You book a third of them. That's 8 jobs at a 5K average job size is 40K a week.
Yeah. That's predictable too. Consistent and predictable.
Yep.
That's what I like about it.
So stacking, having multiple marketing initiatives, stacking them on top of each other, meaning doing them at the same time, and then picking a specific area. So we had a client in Chicago, and she was like, I am in Chicago. I'm just like so overwhelmed. I don't know where to start. Like I've been working here, and like I got to drive 2 hours to my other job site. And when I do estimates, I'm like, well, how are you marketing? She's like, Facebook ads. I'm like, okay, well, how's the targeting set up? All of Chicago.
Everywhere. Yeah.
There's your problem. It's like, okay. So we looked at her last 20 jobs that she did. I'm like, what are your best jobs here? Like which one were high profit margin, great customer, nice neighborhood, close to your house, like where did the stars align? And we looked at the map and we picked this like one little triangle area. There's like a river and a bridge and a highway that just kind of made this like little area. And we kind of like looked it up, and I think there was like 15,000 houses in this area or something. I'm like, that is your turf. No, you don't have a franchise. I get it, but this is your turf. And then I asked her, what do you think would happen if every single person in this turf knew your name? She's like, well, my business would be $1 million business, right? And I was like, okay, well, let's make that happen. Like, it's not a lot of streets. It's not a big area. And like driving between jobs, it's just, there's no downsides to that.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. I actually did a little experiment. So my cleaning company, we had a large portion of the greater Vancouver area, like geographically spread out, but all of our work was in like very specific little pockets. Like we were very good about targeting our clients. We were a premium brand. We charged 30 to 50% more than our competitors. So we had to be like laser focused. And it was an interesting little, no, I can't say an experiment, but realization after running some numbers of over 30%, is actually 32.7%, pretty much exactly a third of our work revenue wise came from 2.1% of our geographical area. Like this tiny, tiny little town called Tawasin down in the corner of our turf. But it's just like super wealthy. It's a little peninsula. So it's like oceanfront on both sides, lots of modern homes. Like our perfect clients lived there. And over a third of our work came from this like tiny, tiny little town because we just dominated. And we just relentlessly marketed it and put up signs. We had our branded vehicles driving through there and more branded vehicles you have in a small area, Like we only had 2 of our 10 vans in that area, but people would say, we see you every single day, all the time. Like you guys must have so many crews out here, but like it would usually be like 2, right?
Yeah.
Just because they were just so focused. And then those vans maybe had like 2,000 kilometers put on them a year because they just barely drove around, right? Like it's just so much more efficient, like, on production as well.
Yeah.
So
So stack your marketing, do lots of it.
marketing.
And, you know, I think we said on a previous one, like pick a niche. Like if you can pick a niche and a specific area and like market the crap out of that niche in that area, oh man, like, and manage your time at the same time.
Yeah.
Literally, that's all you need to
You want
do.
to be the painting company, the big fish in a super, super small area before being tempted to go and like spend a bunch of money on somewhere new.
Yeah. Love it. Well, I think that's probably good for today. I
All
mean, that
right.
was a lot of fun.
Yeah. That was some good questions.
Yeah, those were some good questions today. And then you've
Some
already
nice
had
ones.
like what you've already had like I'm looking at your calendar, like 9 coaching calls, and you have like 2 more still.
Yeah. It's a busy week.
So
I'm
if someone
enjoying it
wants to
though.
work
Had
with
some
you
really good
directly, how do they
conversations
do
this
it?
week. I'm stoked.
Yeah, you are. Where are you going this weekend?
I am going on a 4-day kayaking trip through the Gulf Island. Well, I can't say through the Gulf Island, that's a long way, but in the Gulf Islands off the coast of Vancouver. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
kayaking, camping on all these different islands and stuff. So yeah, it'll be fun.
So bringing like 3 days worth of food and
Yep. Yeah. Basically, like what you can fit on a kayak, which is like I usually do motorcycle camping. So for me, it's like it's just a few less horsepower, unfortunately, but
yeah.
same amount of space really is like what you can get on a
Okay.
motorcycle on a kayak. So
Do you have to bring
um,
all your water, or are you able to
yeah,
get water?
yeah, most islands don't have water, so it would be bring like little water cube and like purification tablets in case we need them. But you know, we don't want to be drinking seawater, otherwise I won't be returning for Tuesday.
Yeah, yeah. Awesome. Well, dude, be safe. We
Thank
need you.
you.
Got no one else to pick up
I'll
those
be
calls.
back. I'll be there.
Okay, thanks, Gavin.
All right. Thanks, Mike. See you later.